Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast, and welcome back to another episode of the Friday Night SmackDown post-show review. If you don't know who we are, I'm your host Josh. As always, joining me is Ruan Wrestling.
Hey guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be breaking down a very interesting Friday Night SmackDown. I'm gonna go over to the other tab here so I can see Ru's live reactions for a minute. Um, we had a very interesting episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And I think if it wasn't for the main event, this would just be a fairly regular episode of SmackDown. And as much as, Rue and some people joining in the live would love for us to jump to the main event, unfortunately, we do have a job to do and we have to cover everything that went down on Friday Night SmackDown. If you're new here, you welcome to the channel. And if you're returning, you know how this works. We break down everything from the segments to the matches, all that good stuff that went down on Friday Night SmackDown, and the bad stuff that went down on Friday Night SmackDown. We break down here on the Kayfabe Central podcast post-show review. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Check out the Kayfabe Central website. That's where I post all my coverage posts, articles, written predictions, and all that good stuff is over there. Check out the Kayfabe Central Discord server. I haven't plugged that one in a while. But make sure you guys go check out the Kayfabe Central Discord server if you want a place to build a community about wrestling and all that good stuff. Go check out the Discord server, and maybe make some friends within the wrestling community. And I will post anytime there's a live going in there once that server gets more active, all that good stuff. I'll go back over to my live chat just in case we get some people popping in. Um, let's get into Friday Night SmackDown, a special edition of SmackDown starting at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I believe that is 7 your time, Rue.
Yep.
So yeah, very early SmackDown and very nice for Rue as well that he doesn't have to start watching SmackDown at 1 a.m. and finish at 4. So I can imagine that's very nice for him. Um, yeah, let's break down some of the things that went down here on SmackDown. The show opened with Joe Tessitore blue balling us like crazy, because he said the return of a living legend is here on SmackDown, and Randy Orton comes out. But even though Randy Orton returned last week, um, he decided to throw that in there. And Randy Orton comes out and he doesn't say anything much, really. It's a very generic Randy Orton promo, and he's interrupted by Trick Williams. Now, I initially thought it was going to be The Miz. We eventually did get The Miz, but Trick Williams interrupts him and he says, "This is not the year of the Viper anymore." Pretty much that the Randy Orton era is finished, and this is the Trick Williams era. Um, I This is a good spot for Trick. He's been put in a lot of good spots early on. Um, and with Sami Zayn and now Randy Orton, I think he's off to a good start on the main roster. I think that they see what they have with Trick Williams, which I'm very glad that they do. Trick Williams is somebody I can see becoming the like the 1B world champion. So whatever like the secondary world title is, whenever he comes around to it, I can see him winning that, whether that be the world title or whether that end up being the undisputed WWE title. I can see him being the like 1B world champion at some point in time. Um, I think that, position would really suit him. But he smacks the microphone out of Randy Orton's hands, and it goes flying into the crowd potentially, and
I
maybe hit a
thought
fan. It looked like it, and it looked like they were concerned a little bit. It looked like Trick Williams was concerned a little bit. But then uh, Randy Orton punches him, and then delivers a Hangman's DDT to Trick Williams. And then The Miz tries to attack him, but eats an RKO instead. And that is how they kick off SmackDown. What did you think of this segment?
that. It was like weird, but not in a bad way, if that makes any sense. Like it was a bit strange. I didn't expect it. Particularly Trick, but it's a cool position for Trick. Instead he's going up against Sammy. Now he's facing Orton, and he went face to face backstage with Cody Rhodes. As well. So like hell yeah, Trick it's funny. I can't. I hope I want to be wrong here, but see if you look back at the it's the stand and deliver match we had last year. One of the great best match of the year. We had the Trick, Oba, and Javon match, and all three of them now we know Oba's not officially, but we know he's he's coming onto the main roster. Um, Trick and Oba, the ones that I'm like, I think they'll be absolutely fine. I am a little bit worried for Javon. I think he'll be fine. I think he will be fine. Um, but Trick there's just this aura about him. So I said it in my live view when he first started being Carmelo's sidekick. I really wasn't like, not that I wasn't bored, but I just was like, I don't know if this is going to work. But he's blown it out of the water. Like the guy looks amazing. He looks like a mega star, and I'm so glad the way he's being presented. And I was laughing at obviously the microphone hit because you literally see Trick say "oh shit" in the middle of the ring, and you're like, "Oh, he's seen something that we haven't." So I can't wait to see the fan angle of that. But no, cool position for Trick. And let's just keep it going, keep it on the high. It's something I said to you before. I'm very optimistic about this year going into 2026. A lot of focus on the young talent coming up from NXT. So let's just keep it going.
I see Phoebe's in the chat. Welcome, Phoebe. She's very loved here at Kayfabe Central, a very big supporter of myself and Rue. So shout out to Phoebe. But that is insane. But that took us to the first match of the night. That was Trick Williams taking on Ray Phoenix. Um, Solid enough outing from both of these men. Trick Williams, I figured he was going to win this match. Ray Phoenix is not in a position where he's going to be winning anything really unless he's eventually paired with his brother as the Lucha Bros, which they seem very hesitant to do for some reason. They will put, you know, uh Penta and Ray Phoenix with any other luchador except those two together. They were literally like it doesn't make sense. But hopefully we do get the Lucha Bros eventually. I wonder if that's like a big moment they're setting up for potentially, but like I feel like they should have just done that off the bat. Um, but a fairly solid outing for both of these men. There wasn't anything too special or too crazy about this match. It was fine, and Trick Williams gets the win. The problem that I had with this match is Trick Williams wins via roll up. Why the hell are we protecting Ray Phoenix? Like, that's no shade at Ray Phoenix. You just haven't put him in a position where, he's necessarily needed to be protected. Um, so I don't understand why Trick could have just win clean here. Like, not clean per se. Like, he could have cheated and then hit the trick shot or something like that. But no, just a roll up. So I don't understand why you couldn't just give Trick a regular pinfall clean victory here. Um, Otherwise, it was fine. It was a match.
Yeah, I mean, I want to argue against you. Also, I love Phoebe saying that she's going out for dinner while going to go to dinner at Wellspoons at 10 o'clock at night. Okay, the spoon staple diet over here in the UK.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't even know what that is. So that's
yeah, I
you
didn't
guys.
think you would.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here laughing. I'm like, I don't know what that is. So.
It's funny. I'll leave it between me and Phoebe. No, I want to like argue back with you and be like, oh, because it's Ray Phoenix, but like, yeah, it's WWE Ray Phoenix. Like that's the issue. I think kind of firstly what you were saying about like Lucha Bros. I'm silently confident. I don't obviously know. I think we this might be a WrestleMania match. Them and the Usos and maybe Chuck the New Day in there potentially. I want to hope. I don't obviously know because I said WWE are very hesitant when it's not AAA to put them together. I want to see it happen. Uh I'm silently hopeful that it will. But yeah, I just said like solid enough match. Both guys are great. I'm just glad at least Trick picked up the win. That's obviously the plus we take for this. But yeah, I mean we could have seen him win clean. And it wouldn't have done that much damage to Phoenix. But it is what it is. At least Trick's got off to a winning start on the main roster.
Yeah. And then we went backstage, where I literally wrote on the website, Julian and Kiana James have an interview with Byron Saxton, where they are happy about winning the Women's United States Championship back. So This was nothing. Julia had a very loud, like she was very loud and obnoxious in this interview, and like Rue got cracked up by it. I was just like, what the hell? Like I know that's kind of her style, but it kind of just caught me off guard. Um, so this was a whatever segment. I see Phoebe saying it's a restaurant slash bar.
It
All right,
is.
well, I mean. Sure. I mean, I'd go to a restaurant slash bar at 10 o'clock unless there's something very specific about Weatherspoons that I don't know about. So
I don't.
I'm just going to not speak about it so I don't offend anybody, you know?
You won't offend him, believe me. It's just if I can't even begin to tell you an equivalent in Canada or America, it's its own thing, spoons.
Fair enough. You basically just described Oscar. Yeah, Oscar is very guilty of doing things like that as well. So it's just a style that they have. It just catches me off guard sometimes. Um, Yeah, I don't think either of us have any thoughts on this. We're not going to dwell too much on this segment. Neither are we going to dwell too much on Damian Priest saying he wants the WWE Championship and Drew McIntyre
Well.
confronts him. Um, no, no, I don't want to see it again.
Oh,
I don't care. And it's very likely we may see it again
I didn't think about
because of what
this.
happened later on in the show.
You've
Um,
ruined my night. I didn't think about this.
Yeah, so it's very possible that this can happen now, but we'll get into why that is. Um, but Drew McIntyre then reveals that he has the Rolex that belongs to Dusty Rhodes, and just to add some salt into the wound of um of Cody Rhodes and really get under his skin. So that was that segment. Cool. It was, your typical Drew thing to, really promote the main event. So it was what it was. I just don't care to see Drew and Priest again right now.
I very much don't want to see that. And as you said, in a world where hypothetically, if Drew McIntyre was to go on and win the WWE Championship, it's not a match that I would be very interested in. Damien Drew, we've seen it go on for quite a while last year. More specifically, we've seen Damien annoyingly win the feud in the end. So yeah, I'm not that interested in it. Phoebe actually did bring up quite a good point by the way in the chat about the potential Charlotte and Alexa beef that they were talking about backstage. I can't remember when in the show started. I don't know if this happened in this kind of bunch of backstage segments or not.
So, funny enough, the next segment was
Okay.
Alexa Bliss on the phone with Charlotte Flair
There we go.
backstage, who appeared to be sick, but we confirmed through our very reliable source, Phoebe, who is going to a show in Glass. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Don't. I know how to say the word.
You're
I
better
just
than Glasgow, to be fair.
let's go. Where Charlotte Flair is going to be competing. So this is like a kayfabe thing. Um, and then like Nia Jackson, Lash Legend approach her, making fun of Charlotte Flair being sick. Like, okay, sure, you've never caught the flu before, Nia Jax. Sure. But Alexa warns Lash Legend that Nia Jax is not a very good friend. Um, but the last I checked, didn't wasn't Alexa the one who kind of turned her back on Nia in a way?
Yeah, yeah, that is one major part of the story that I will admit I have noticed is a flaw in the oh, what's that called again when they get movie? No, you get like someone there's literally someone designed for movies when they get sequels. Continuity, that's it. There's an issue with the continuity here, but it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that. In terms of the heel turn, I wouldn't be entirely surprised. I kind of don't want this Charlotte and Alexa thing to end yet, though. I think save it until after WrestleMania. Let them do something like a multi-woman tag team match at WrestleMania with the tag team, the women's tag division, because it is pretty, stacked at the moment. So, have them do something, um, at WrestleMania. I'd be very relieved if Charlotte Flair wasn't in a world title match this WrestleMania. I think that'd be very good for her. And then you could have the heel turn happen after, if they come short come up short at WrestleMania, which I don't necessarily think that they'll win the titles back, to be honest. So they probably will come up short in that. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see it. I see we have our other good friend in the chat. Stu World Order is here. How you doing, Stu?
Oh
Uh,
wait, have you watched SmackDown? Spoilers.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was the Alexa and Charlotte stuff and the Lash and Nia stuff. We then went to the Women's United States Championship match between Julia and Alexa Bliss. Now, this match came out of nowhere. Absolutely out of nowhere. And I I am a very big advocate of you have to earn a title match. And realistically, Alexa Bliss didn't do shit to earn a title match, but nonetheless, she had
Evie's gonna kick you.
a fine enough match with Julia. If if this means Julia gets on the card more and she gets to wrestle more and she gets to actually show what she can do more, fine, I guess. Like obviously they're not gonna do the eliminator thing that AEW does or whatever the case may be. But uh, yeah, Julia defeats Alexa Bliss to retain the Women's U.S. title. Whatever. It's better than what they have been doing with this Women's U.S. title. If this was before last year, like Julia would have won the title and not showed up on TV for weeks. So at least now she defended it against Alexa Bliss, who's a fairly credible opponent. Lash Legend is the reason Alexa Bliss lost this match. Um, and then after the match, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend attack her. Nia hits her with the Annihilator. But yeah, like that's about it. It was a fine enough match for a SmackDown episode.
Yeah, I guess like tried to at least look at the positives. At least like it got on the show and it was given more than a minute, so that's a positive. I can take that compared to some of the other matches. Um, yeah, it gives a bit more credibility to Julia. I think obviously I keep mentioning it a lot that I really liked what they did with the championship division when they put Becky Lynch into the mix. I think it added a lot of value and credibility to it. So I think someone like Alexa would do has done actually really well being put in here, and as you said, it adds that bit of legitimacy to it. At the end of the day, this was really here just to kind of I guess keep the ongoing feud between Charlotte, Alexa, and Nia and Lash. And I guess as we mentioned, maybe a bit of a rumblings between Charlotte and Alexa, with Charlotte not being there because she was sick. But yeah, look, I'll try to take the positives where I see them. It was good to at least get it on the card and get a meaningful match out of it. So there we go.
Stu says it took the Berlin crowd about 2 hours and 45 minutes to wake up. Yeah, they were on and off tonight, weren't they?
Yeah,
They,
started good.
they
Then
were a little bit on and off. Like they were a solid crowd for a lot of it, but then like there were certain parts where they just didn't care about. And yeah, it was weird. Like usually the international crowds are very loud, but I feel like they weren't as loud. Like in terms of the standard of these international crowds, they weren't as loud. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They were loud enough. It's not like they were dead quiet. So I mean, it's fine, but I completely see where Stu's going. Um, I would say Rumble have the Charlexa turn there. I could see that happening potentially. I just want to see them have a Mania match together, like alongside each other. So, um, I feel like after WrestleMania is the best place to do it. Maybe the Raw after Mania. Save something special for that show. Um, we then went to Nick Aldis officially signing Jordan Grace to SmackDown. So, that means Jordan Grace shouldn't be on NXT anymore, right? Because I thought Joe Hendry was on SmackDown, but apparently not. Apparently he's not. Because he's having a match with Deion Lennox on Tuesday. But you know what? Jordan Grace on SmackDown. Hopefully she gets something better than what she was getting in NXT. Hopefully she starts winning some matches on SmackDown. Chelsea Green and Alba Fire interrupted this conversation, and Chelsea Green wants her women's U.S. title back. Um, I am going to be that person, Rue.
I know what you're about to say.
I
But
am I don't know if anybody actually knows what I'm about to say, and it's about
oh,
Chelsea Green.
oh, okay, that's not what I thought. Okay, that's fine.
Um, I am slowly getting tired of Chelsea Green complaining about the same thing every single week. I love Chelsea Green, but man, we got to come up with something different for her now. Like she is, it's every single week. I want the women's US title. I want the women's US title. And it's like, can we not find anything else for her? Like there's nothing at all. Like even if you wanted to put her in a miniature feud with Jade Cargill, and have that be something, that's fine. But every single week, it's I want the US title back. I want the US title back. God, man, we need something different. And I get Stu and Phoebe are mad at me right now in the chat. And I understand. And I hate hating on Chelsea Green. I hate saying anything negative about her, especially because she's a fellow Canadian. And I love supporting my fellow Canadians. But at the same time, she's complaining about the same thing every single week, and we need to find something different.
Okay, so what I will say is like I'm fine with the complaining part of Chelsea because that is very much part of her quote unquote Karen character. I think it works really well. She's one of the few people who can pull it off. What I will agree with is I want to see her go on and do something new. I want to see her going up into the main event. I want to see her with a women's world championship. I want to see that. Um, I think we've been saying it for years. I mean, the last what 2, 3 years now, I've been like, oh, well, not three, but last 2 years definitely, I've been like, oh, Chelsea Green should win Miss Money in the Bank and doesn't. So I will say that I'm fine with the complaining character because out of everyone in WWE, I mean, it works for Chelsea. Is kind of it works for her. But I do know what you mean. I want to see something different. I want to see a bit more. Getting to see what she went and did with Ethan Page and still is doing with Ethan Page and Triple A's was a breath of fresh air. I thought it was really, really fun. So I'm all for Chelsea Green getting that main event push that I think she more than has earned and deserves. I think we will get it one day. I'm silently confident for Chelsea. But I want to see it. I like them.
Yeah. Um, or maybe even like you could move her to Raw or something. Maybe it's a case of where
Yeah,
it's like, I'm tired of Nicholas not treating me right. Maybe Adam Pierce will treat me better. And then she can be thrown into the women's IC title picture. Then you give her some fresh feuds. She can feud with like Maxine Dupree.
Chelsea
Um,
and Becky.
Yeah, exactly. Chelsea and
Per-
Becky would be fantastic. I think that would be great. You have the two Karens of
That's
WWE
what I'm
feuding
thinking.
with each other. That would be awesome. So I think we need to find something new for Chelsea. Um, and we then went to another. By the way, hold on. Before I get into this, holy hell, did they waste time with a bunch of useless backstage segments on this show?
Oh, oh,
Oh my goodness, dude. And it's like I said this on the Dynamite post show. You don't realize how many like I personally me, I don't realize how many segments there are on the show until I get on this post show and I'm going through everything play by play. And I'm like, man, like they wasted a lot of time. Um, but backstage we had a segment that, eventually just doesn't matter anymore because of what happened at the end of the show. But Matt Cardona is interviewed by Byron Saxton. And he says that, he worked his ass off to get back to the WWE, yada, yada, yada. Approaches Cody Rhodes and says, I'm not just back to be back, I'm back for the undisputed WWE Championship. And gives a little warning to Cody Rhodes. I can't remember what Cody said in response to that, because I think I was talking to you and Phoebe in your live chat
oh.
actually during this segment because I was like, Matt Cardona is probably gonna be a guy that he's in that mid card spot, but at some points he's gonna get a world title opportunity, but he's not gonna win it.
Yeah.
That's the spot that Matt Cardona is in. They're not going to give him a world title. I highly highly doubt that, and I'm pretty sure he might know that. he might know that he's not getting a world title there, but you brought up a very good point. If Matt Cardona wins the WWE title, is he a Grand Slam champion or is that still under Zack Ryder? Um, so I do kind of like that the fact that they're acknowledging Zack Ryder. I like that. I like the fact that they're doing that. So uh it is what it is. Matt Cardona's back and we'll see what they have in store for him. I will do a bear my ass on the Kayfabe Central podcast when Matt Cardona wins the world title. We will hold you to that, Stu. We might get banned off the internet for good, but it might be worth it. It might be a very legendary Kayfabe Central moment if that happens. Um,
Hey, I mean, here, you might not know what I'm talking about here, Josh, but Stu will. Gary Lineker said the same about Leicester winning the league, so just be careful with your words, Stu. He ended up having to present a show in his boxer shorts, because of
oh man, we're just having fun at the SmackDown post show today. It's a very fun Friday, and if you're watching this after the fact, we appreciate you. And it's unfortunate you couldn't join us for this live fun that we're having. Um, Something that wasn't fun though was the eight-man tag team match between the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. Now, I went into this and thinking that Solo Sikoa wasn't going to be in this match because he wasn't listed. It was listed as everybody in the MFTs but Solo. But we found out that it was JC Mateo that was sitting this one out. Um and the MFTs pick up the win. I forget who gets the pin in this match.
it was Tama on Uncle Howdy.
Right. So even it means even less. Like Tama
Oh,
pins Uncle Howdy. Cool.
poor Tama.
Where's that gonna put him? Nowhere. They look stupid with the face paints. I'm going to probably just crap all over this, man, because what are we doing? What are we doing here? This is not good. And anybody who tells me it's good is lying. Like, there's nothing interesting about this. There's nothing interesting about the Wyatt Six or the MFTs right now. Um, like I don't know what else to say about this. Like it's not good. I want this feud to end. It's probably not going to yet because the MFTs are going to want those tag titles back and I don't think this feud is ending until the MFTs get those tag titles back. But I'm going to hand this over to you because I got nothing for this.
Oh, I was laughing at the Stu because I'm the exact same. I'd always try to be very positive. We don't want to bring your NXT hating opinions into here, or your NXT hating vibes. But yeah, this match was so boring. I was getting so sleepy on live. I was sitting there yawning. I was like, oh my God. You're in a bad spot when the most exciting part of the match is the hot tag to Eric Rowan. That was the one bit I was like, oh yeah, let's go. I said this in my preview. I just don't care. I don't care about either team to be truly honest in that sense. I really want those tag belts off the White Six. I really, really do. I said this to you multiple times. Anything to do with Wyatt in that kind of universe, I think really struggles when they have any form of title on them. And I think there's a clear example of what we're seeing because we talk about it all the time, like how good that SmackDown tag team division was, and then the White Sets got hold of the belts and it's just vanished. So I want to get back to that. Yeah, and the same goes for the MFTs. I was very much not invested in this match. But fair play to Eric Rowan. I almost got excited when he came in.
Yeah, we need to start developing some more tag teams on SmackDown because everybody seems to just have disappeared. Where have the Motor City Machine Guns been? Like, where have they been? Fraxium is feuding with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae alone because
It's not
Ciampa,
Champa.
they don't even care to feature Ciampa anymore since he said he's gonna leave.
Wait, Champa was in the commercial break advert, I'll have you know, alongside Gargano.
Yeah, that's gonna change very soon. But and then again, they're very lazy. They're not gonna change that until he's probably completely out of the company.
Oh yeah.
But I don't like that. Like if somebody's on their way out, just use them to put other people over on their way out.
Yeah,
Like,
they did with
why would you
Ricochet
not
and
use them?
Braun.
So uh, that is what it is. Like, that's that. But we need to get more involved in the tag division. Like, Los Garza has disappeared as well. Um, Backstage, The Miz bumped into Carmelo Hayes. Um, and The Miz says he's going to go after the United States Championship, but not tonight. So that's potentially going to happen next week. Um, he then bumps into Ilya Dragunov, says he would love for him to accept the open challenge. That's not how an open challenge works, Carmelo Hayes.
That's what I
That's
said.
not how it works. Like, oh my goodness, man, what are we doing? Like, the point of an open challenge is you go out there and you don't know who you're facing, and you face whoever comes out of that curtain. You can't just like try to get your opponent beforehand so you can prepare. That's not how an open challenge works. But whatever. And then Ilya says he has something different in mind. Um, we come to find out that is a undisputed WWE Championship tournament that he's going to be involved in. Um, that was announced by Nick Aldis a little bit later on in the show, but we might as well, cover that now since this backstage segment meant nothing. Um, that's going to be very interesting. I guess we can get into more of that tournament actually once we cover the main event. But he's going to be involved in that. He is going up against Sammy, is it?
He's got Sammy, yes.
Yeah, so he's facing Sammy in the first round, so that's going to be a fun match.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's what Ilya Dragunov is doing, and The Miz is probably accepting the U.S. Championship Open Challenge next week. What are your thoughts on this and everything surrounding this segment?
Uh, uh, well, I said the exact same as yours. That's not how an open challenge works. I mean, it's cool. I mean, Phoebe brought up a good point in the live with the open challenges. Like you know, I love the open challenge. I know you do as well. We both said it, but like we are starting to get to the point where we're kind of running out of people to challenge for it. Like how many times we've had the Miz. I mean, even the eventual person that came out has been part of the open challenge before as well. So I want to see a bit more storyline come into the fold, which hopefully maybe with Trick or whoever being on the roster we might get to see. And hopefully get that belt. And you've been an advocate for it, and I agree, get that belt on a pay-per-view because the work they've put in, they more than deserve it. So I'm all for that. I guess in the terms of the tournament, yeah, cool. That first round match is going to be really, really interesting. I was slightly annoyed that I think two of the actually quite interesting setup of matches are both in the first round. It's Elio Sammy and Cardona and Trick. They're actually quite interesting like participants, but they're all in the first round. So thank you for that, WWE. I mean, I really think it's probably going to come down to either Randy or Damien, which is uh
Yeah, Stu in the chat says if Dragunov becomes world champion, I will bear Matt Cardona's ass.
um,
Okay.
is that a threat?
Um, what wasn't a threat was Alba Fire to Jordan Grace. Because Jordan
Oh,
Grace defeats Alba Fire in fairly convincing fashion because Alba Fire
mm.
is just in that position in wrestling in WWE now. Formerly Kaylee Ray, who held the NXT Women's UK Champion for 600 some odd days, is now Chelsea Green's lackey and loses matches very quickly, like she did here to Jordan Grace. Um, After the match, Jade Cargill came out and
Ugh.
reminded Jordan Grace that she's that bitch. That was it. I again, I don't I don't care. It gives Jordan Grace a spotlight and it puts her on a very big stage, so I'm happy for that. Um, do I think Jordan is going to beat Jade for that title whenever they do that match? Unfortunately not. I think they're saving if she's healthy. saving that for Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania. Because I do think if Bianca is healthy, she's winning the Royal Rumble when she comes back. Um, I think like that's almost a foregone conclusion, at least for me, with Bianca winning the Royal Rumble when she comes back, if she comes back in time. But as of right now, it's a cool spot for Jordan Grace. Um, I just I don't think Jade Cargill is that great. Um, I've never been behind her even in AEW. I was never the biggest fan of her. I never thought she was that good of a wrestler. She's nothing like spectacular. She's very bland on the mic. I really don't see what everybody else sees in her. Like she has the look, but that's about it. She doesn't really have anything else, like at all, really. Like I'm not saying she's like, you know, I'm sorry, but like B-Fab, but like she's not that good either. So, it is what it is. Jordan Grace is a good wrestler though, so maybe she can help Jade Cargill have a very solid match.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try unpack different parts of that. Sorry, my rabbit is going mental under my foot. Go away. It hurts my soul to see where Kaylee Ray is. Oh, well, I still can't call her above five. I still struggle to. I'm like, oh, it's Kaylee Ray to me. I'm so used to it. It hurts my soul seeing where she is. But I mean, at least I see her on TV rather than sitting in the catering, I suppose. I don't know if that's any better.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So the Jordan Grace thing, very good and very happy for Jordan Grace being up in the main roster. I hope she's going to do some great things. If this was any other time of the year, I would say 100% just have Jordan Grace beat Jade Cargill and put the title on her because Jade. I don't know. I tried. I really did try. Like, if you can go back to some of our early podcasts we did, I was very much trying to be positive on Jade Cargill. Be like, I give her time. It's going to be okay. When she came out and turned heel and did that first promo of that I'm that bitch, I was like, okay, cool. I like that. I'm cool with that. And it's just got worse and worse and worse. And I'm now off the positive train. I don't care. As I said, if this was any other time of the year, I would have just said put the belt on Jordan. But with the run up to WrestleMania, I'm with you. I've been saying it for months now. I think the match is going to be uh, Bianca, if she's fit and healthy, versus Jade at WrestleMania. Another match I thought, and I know a lot of people are probably going to kind of groan at this, but they did tease it. If Bianca isn't healthy, because we talked about them earlier, and then you even said like it probably would be or do her good to not be in a singles or title match at Mania. Maybe they do Jade and Charlotte if Bianca isn't healthy at Mania. I know. Believe me, I see the face. I know. I know. I think I want to be positive and stay optimistic and say that it's going to be Bianca and Jade. I know you've probably heard me in my life saying my Royal Rumble choice at the minute is actually Liv, but no matter what, I think the two world title challengers, if you want to call them that, for WrestleMania is going to be Liv and Bianca. I just don't know which way around it's going to go for Elimination Chamber or the Royal Rumble. That's the way I look at it personally. Um, yeah, hopefully Jade, not Jade, sorry, wrong person. Hopefully Jordan can do some great things, but yeah, I'm completely off the Jade Cargill stuff now.
I think it'll probably be if Bianca's healthy, she wins the Rumble and Liv wins the Chamber.
Mm.
I could see that being the route that they go. Liv gives me the vibe of she's more of the person that'll win the Chamber, whereas Bianca has won a Rumble before. Um, it's not the most exciting thing to have, a repeat of winners. But like it just makes the most sense, to be honest, unless um like Naomi's not going to be back in time, so
Oh,
um at least I don't believe she will be. So unless, she comes out, like you said, baby in hand and everything, that would be a very legendary moment in WWE. But yeah, I think that's the route that they're taking. I could see Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace just having a match on Saturday night's main event. It might end up being the one that I'm going to
oh,
in Montreal.
yeah. Actually, I think you've got that spot on there. I'm not gonna lie.
So I think that's where they're gonna end up doing that match. Um, So yeah, we then went backstage again with Byron Saxton, who was with Sami Zayn. He said he wants Drew McIntyre to win tonight because he has never beaten Drew McIntyre. However, he says his money's on Cody Rhodes. Um,
Uh, well,
so Sami Zayn
well
says
then.
he's got money on Cody Rhodes, and but he will be waiting on the other side for the winner. So same thing he's been saying every single week that he wants the WWE Championship. It's unfortunate that we've gotten to the place where it's like Sami Zayn says he's going for the world champion. It's like, okay, are you actually serious this time? Are you actually gonna go for the world title? Um, so we just got to see where it takes us. I think he's inevitably gonna win that world title at some point. I don't know when he's going to win a world title. I don't see it being at WrestleMania. Um, and obviously SummerSlam is way too far in the future to tell. And I don't think he's winning the Rumble either. But who's to say maybe he does. Um, Johnny Gargano fooled a lot of us because he dressed up as Axiom and like he wore the turtleneck and everything, went all out. And Nathan Frazier bought it for a few seconds until Gargano attacked him because Gargano was wearing Axiom's mask. Um, again, what are we doing? What 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 is this? Like Johnny Gargano and Fraxium, and you know what? And Candice LeRae are some of the most talented professional wrestlers. And you got them doing this, and we've been dragging out a match between Axiom and Gargano for some reason. It's not like anybody's looking forward to it. Like it'll probably be a solid match, but like there's no reason to look forward to an Axiom and Johnny Gargano match. So again, this is one of those like stupid things that they add to just kill time on SmackDown, and it just goes back to you shouldn't have gone back to 3 hours. Like maybe on a show like this, the 3 hours worked because of what the main event was, but everything else before the main event, like things like this, just it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And like I could care less about it.
Yeah, it's like I just said, like it's one of them ones where for those like 30 seconds it's on the screen, it's entertaining, but it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to do anything, it doesn't have any real substance behind it. So yeah, especially as you pointed out, it's so true. Like these are like some of the best wrestlers in the world. I said it to you the other day, you and Stu, I think, like, I would have said that Ciampa and Gargano were a lock when back when they were in NXT to be world champions, top of the divisions. And there's probably part of them that thought so as well because after you had the initial faces of NXT, where you had your Finn Balor, your Samoa Joes, your Kevin Owens, your Sami Zayns. The next two at the top were Ciampa and Gargano. Obviously, you had other folk dropped in there, Adam Cole as well, Aleister Black and all that. But it, NXT was built around Ciampa and Gargano in that kind of 2018-19 period, I would say, for like the biggest part. And to see how far they've fallen to the point where one of them is now about to leave the company it is really sad to see. I wish they would do more. And the same with Fraxium. Just like put the tag team titles on them, please. The Whites are doing nothing anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. We then went to the United States Championship Open Challenge, which was accepted by Shinsuke Nakamura. I made the joke to Rue and his live chat that Triple H was probably like, well, we can't really get you out to Hiroshi Tanahashi's last match, but we can have you lose to Carmelo Hayes. It's what we do. That was more of like a country accent. That's not how Triple that was a terrible impersonation. So, but you get the gist of what I was trying to say. Carmelo Hayes defeats Shinsuke Nakamura in a very like I'm trying to find the word for this. This was a good match that dragged on too long.
Yep.
And I think these are two guys, and like Shinsuke Nakamura is not who he was like 10 years ago.
Yep.
The guy is aging, and I'm pretty sure the guy is very close to also hanging up the boots in a few years. Um, but man, this dragged on for longer than it maybe should have. And maybe it's because they didn't really have anything else because obviously we had a couple backstage segments and video packages after this match and then it went to the main event. But that was about it. So they went a while in this match. I want to say like a solid 15 to 20
Yep.
maybe
Bang on. Yep.
potentially. They managed to fit two commercial breaks in this. They managed to fit in a lot of commercial breaks throughout this episode. And that's where most of the time went of this show. Um, but yeah, this was a fine match. They're both very talented, and I have no problems with Carmelo Hayes or Shinsuke Nakamura. Carmelo retaining makes sense. That was cool. We're gonna move on to the next week, and we're gonna see who accepts the challenge next week, and that's really it.
Yeah, you summed this up perfectly. We were both talking about it in my life. Like this was like a fairly solid match. It just for some reason, as you said, just dragged on. And I think a big part of that was the commercial breaks. Because I said it went about 20 minutes, but had like 5 to 7 minutes of what felt like commercial breaks. Anyway, it was very, very a large amount of them. And as you said, this that was kind of the theme of the night because of that last hour being commercial free. But so it was a solid match, two very, very good in-ring performances. I was quite cute at the end of the match to see Carmelo and Shinsuke kind of just well Shinsuke more just giving Carmelo his flowers. That was very cute to see. Very sweet to see. But yeah, solid match in that sense. But yeah, it was I don't know, it just felt it went on for a very, very long time. I just I don't know if they just didn't have anything else and were stalling for time at that part. But I'm excited to see what Carmelo keeps doing. I know he is doing the open challenge, but hopefully we get some more substance for it going forward and get some more storylines as well for him as well.
Yeah. Before we get into the closing moments of SmackDown, anybody who still may be in the live chat, make sure you get in your chats in now, because we are on the final stretch of this post-show review. So any questions you may have for us, let us know in the live chat. And obviously, if you're watching this after the fact, let us know. But if you're in the live chat, now's your time to get in your questions or anything you might have to add to any of our takes. We went backstage with Byron Saxton and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is just hyped up before his main event match. And, he's obviously not fond of Drew McIntyre having Dusty's Rolex. So, he's hyped and he said he's looking forward to the Rumble and the road to WrestleMania after he beats Drew McIntyre. So um, so that was a little segment they had there. Um, I already went through Nick Aldis announcing the tournament. We then went to the main event of the evening, the three stages of Hell match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, I went into this saying that this was a very standard three stages of Hell match that wasn't very enticing because it was a normal match, it was a Falls Count Anywhere match, and it was a steel cage match. Um, these two guys tore the house down. This was such a good match. The first two falls, I feel like I wouldn't say rushed it, but like it feels like it went by a little bit quicker than I actually anticipated it to go by. But like I don't know, maybe that's because like they knew it was the end was gonna be and they wanted to save some time potentially, but they still went off the show with like 7 minutes remaining. So like I feel like they could have added some more time, to the first two falls, but that's just me nitpicking. We go to the final fall, the steel cage match. We're 1-1. I got the order wrong, by the way. I thought Cody was gonna win the first fall by DQ. I got the prediction wrong for this match, because in the closing moments of this match, Drew McIntyre is looking to escape through the cage door, and we have a hooded figure. Man, they love these hooded figures, don't they? A hooded figure who's revealed to be Jacob Fatu, who was in kayfabe attacked by Drew McIntyre. Or, well, we didn't know it was Drew McIntyre, but everybody assumed it was Drew. And it was revealed here that it was Drew McIntyre. Jacob Fatu enters the cage. And obviously the real life injury was the dental stuff that he had going on. So he beats up Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes goes to stop him, but Jacob Fatu also beats up Cody Rhodes, and that allows Drew McIntyre to crawl out of the cage door and win the undisputed WWE Championship. What the hell? I was my exact reaction because I was like, and not a what the hell in a bad way. I was like, oh my goodness, WWE finally grew a pair and they put the title on Drew and they put the title on him in front of an international crowd. And this is the first time Drew McIntyre has won a title in front of a crowd that he took to the end of the night and that he's taken into the next show. This, and by the way, the steel cage match to close it was fantastic. The Cody cutter off of the cage
Mm.
was amazing. Cody had a gorgeous counter into a crossroads during this match as well. They absolutely tore the house down, man. This is going on my match of the year candidates. It's a very early one to throw on there, but man, they did fantastic in this match. And Drew McIntyre is the undisputed WWE champion. And I'm going to let my Scottish broadcast partner explain how he feels about this.
Ah, so good. I don't know what to say. What a match. As you said, pointed out, this probably could have just been a steel cage match, to be truly honest. But hey ho, we got the three stages of hell back. That was cool to see. You've basically summarized the first two. There wasn't like loads. It was the first one especially was over very quickly. There was that really funny spot with Cody in the second one, the first Great Enema, where he did the jump off of
Yeah,
it was really weird. He was just so stiff when he did it. It was quite funny. But yeah, but that steel cage was so good. I think as well, like the near falls in this match were perfect. Both times from Drew and from Cody had me going. Especially when oh, was it when Cody hit the two crossroads at that point? I was like, oh my god,
yeah.
oh my god, so good. And as you said, and I say it all the time, and people I mean, people just don't listen. That's the main point of this I'm trying to make. But they never listen to what we say, and the fact that like I wanted Drew to win from the start. Not once did you ever catch me saying I didn't want Drew to win. And then, as I pointed out, I was like, listen to my accent. Do you think I want him to win? But I just didn't think they were going to. I just did not think WWE had the balls within them to do that. And fair play to them. As I said, like, all the signs so far in 2026 are pointing towards, like, they're all good at the minute. At least they're pointing. There's obviously little hiccups here and there. We won't talk about New Year's Eve with Josh. Um, there's the little thing here and there, but all the signs look really good. I think this is a great start. Something we missed out upon last year with Kevin Owens because we all said, but we said it the other day or yesterday. The fact that I think a big part of that was due to John Cena's retirement run because they knew that they had to do Cena and Cody at Mania, so they were already. There's no chance Kevin was going to win that. Looking back, when he was at the time so perfect to win it, which sucks. So I'm so glad they've looked ahead towards Drew. Jacob Faster return as well. Great. Did not expect that. I didn't think we'd get him until the Rumble, potentially. I was saying maybe we get Femi come out here and cost Drew. But no, Drew wins. We get the return of Jacob Fatu. I mean, some folk were saying it in my chat. Potential now. Do we do the Cody towards going Cody turning heel? I don't know. I personally want to say that I still don't think he will. I still think there's a lot more that they can get out of babyface Cody Rhodes. Um, and a lot that they want to get out. But I think what this now opens up, and I was kind of not saying it earlier because waiting until we got to this, but it really has blown wide open WrestleMania for me on the matches we're going to get. Because I said to you, and you said it earlier, and I totally agreed with you before Drew won this, and the fact that I did not think that Sammy was going to win the Rumble this year at all. Now that it's Drew, I think Sammy's on that possibility list, at least more than what he was when it was Cody. Um, I still don't think he is, by the way, but eventually we'll get onto Rumble stuff later on down the line in the month. But I still don't think so. But there's a lot of interesting opportunities. And they're talking about Cody. What does Cody do at Mania? Does he just have that singles match with Orton that we've been talking about, which I thought might have been for the WWE Championship? Um, there's a lot of interesting avenues going out now, but for right now, I'm just going to enjoy the fact that Drew McIntyre is a WWE champion, and it's at a time where I think more than ever, the man is so respected for the work he does. He obviously gets booed because he's the big heel, but he's a respected heel. And not that he wasn't like folk. I think were really happy for him when he was the babyface and won, and also during COVID. But now more than ever, folk are going, wait, this guy's good. This guy is good, and he is. Obviously, I'm never ever going to deny that or argue that fact. I'm so happy for Drew. He's worked his ass off to get here. And cannot wait to see what he does going forward. As long as he doesn't lose it by Rumble, please God, WWE.
So I I I hate to crash on the party. But I don't think Drew's taking that into WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
I don't think he's holding it for that long. Um, I can't imagine a world in where Cody either doesn't have a title match or isn't walking into Mania as champion. It's a very good chance that they run this match back at Saturday night's main event. Drew retains, then they run back another match with them at the Royal Rumble, and Cody wins there. It's a very good chance that happens. And this may have been just a case of a quick change potentially and giving Drew another title reign because I feel like they know they would have gotten a lot of heat if Cody Rhodes won here because we obviously had the report before this show that there were a lot of people internally pushing for Drew McIntyre to win the title tonight. That doesn't necessarily mean he's holding this for very long because I was even thinking in the case like before this match went on. I was thinking in the case of if Drew does win the title, I don't think he's taking that into WrestleMania. Um, and like it's still a good possibility that he does, and Cody does something completely different. And then I just don't think that Drew and Sammy is the route that they want to go for WrestleMania. I can't see that being the route that they want to take. Um, I could see Drew and Roman potentially. I could see them doing that if they really wanted to. But then you also got to think about where does Jacob Fatu play into this? And you know, where does whoever wins the number one contender tournament play into this, right? Whether that be, you know, more than likely either Sammy or Randy, more than likely wins that. Um, with Sami Zayn, actually, I don't think he's winning the Rumble because I think if they don't do Cody and Drew at the Rumble, I think it's Sammy and Drew at the Rumble. And Drew potentially retains there, and then loses the title along the way somewhere before Mania. I just don't think he has a very long reign ahead of him as undisputed champion. And I think they're eventually gonna throw that back onto Cody. Now, what would be even less interesting is if we drag this Drew and Cody thing all the way out to WrestleMania and Cody wins the title back there. That is the worst possible thing that they could do, and I hope they don't do that. Um, and like this is not me before, you know, somebody, you know, twists my words again. This is not me saying that I don't want Drew as champion or that I don't like Drew or anything like that. I am ecstatic that Drew is champion. But I don't think he's carrying that very long. I think this is going to be probably a month or two long reign, to be honest.
I'll say it here, I'll say it again. I've never hoped that you will be more wrong in your life. But you make a lot of good points though, especially the stuff around Cody. Because part of me does totally agree in that. I do struggle to see a WrestleMania in which Cody isn't in a world title picture. I think one of the only matches would be him and Randy, but even at that, I still don't know. And as you said, I mean, I brought up the fact that Sammy's chances of potentially winning the Rumble for me have like significantly increased. I still don't think he's going to win. I think it probably is going to be Roman. But I literally said in my life that if Roman wins, I think he's going after the WWE Championship, which, as you said, if it was still Drew at that point, they can do Roman and Drew again, and hopefully they have a much better match than what they had at WrestleMania 35. My God, um, that was the time. So look, I'm trying to be optimistic here. At least it adds a lot of interest in just speculation of where they're going to go with it, especially going into the Rumble. I think that's actually a very good shout that you made about Sammy not winning the Rumble because he'll be actually in the world title match with Drew. I think it's actually a very, very good shout. That he'll be in there. My money, because I agree, I think Sami Zayn is absolutely, much to Phoebe's displeasure, I think Sami Zayn is absolutely going to be world champion one day. I personally think it's going to be next year at Mania. To be true, if we're going to do it somewhere, I don't think it would be this year. I think it is still too early. I said it could. The difference being with Drew now being champion, if he is holding it to Mania, it does just for me open up, I think, a lot or more different kind of wormholes compared to if we had Cody, which adds interest and adds a bit of just kind of speculation for me. So, look, I hope you're wrong. I hope Drew does hold it for a long period of times, or at least to Mania. I'll take as a minimum to Mania. Um, but I also totally agree. Drew, I don't think there's any value in doing Drew and Cody. Uh, Mania at Mania. I guess the other question is if they do what you're suggesting and have it go back to Cody. I think they really more so than what they were already doing. They are really running the risk of driving Cody into the 2015 Roman Reigns if he's to win this back from Drew in a couple of weeks. Actually, I was going to say months, but even weeks. So I don't know. I mean, you can never trust WWE at the minute. You don't know what they're going to do. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope Drew has a decent enough run and it does open up a lot of different wormholes going towards WrestleMania and the Rumble.
Yeah, because you look at the way Drew won this title.
Hmm.
Like he sneaked away and pretty much like in a way stole the WWE title because of Jacob Fatu and him getting involved. So this probably sets up, something small. I could probably actually see Cody and Fatu at Saturday night's main event
Yeah.
potentially. But like that's gonna set something up. But like I think because of that, they're gonna use the way Drew won the title to put that title back on Cody. Because it's gonna be a case of where Cody's like, you ran away from that. Now it's me who got screwed over, right? I gave you a rematch, now it's my turn. I'm coming back for that title, and Cody does get that title back with, like no interferences or whatever. So I think like that just gave me more reason to think that Drew's not holding that until WrestleMania.
I said, this is the issue with you, by the way. I'm just going to say it right now. You make so many like logical points, and just it's just annoying. Stu says that about the two of us. He gets even more annoyed when there's two of us going at it. But it's like I can't remember what match we were talking about where I was like, everything you've said makes total sense, and I can't. It was Okada and Takeshita. That's what it was, I think
Oh,
as well
right.
for me. And I was like, everything you've said makes total sense, and I cannot argue with any of it. Though I'm going to disagree with the decision because I'm an idiot. So, so similar situation here.
Yeah, it's like I'm happy Drew's champion. Like I am a huge fan of Drew, but at the same time, this is the WWE.
Yeah.
And I don't I'd like to see him hold it to WrestleMania. But even at WrestleMania, I think if he holds it till then, he's gonna drop it there to whoever he faces for that title.
Yeah.
Um, because it's Drew McIntyre. They haven't been known to give him very long title reigns to begin with. Like any of his title reigns weren't that long. And like it for anybody that's like, oh well now it's different because it's not a pandemic or anything like that, it's the same thing. They're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna book him the same way more than likely. Um, but either way, I'm happy Drew gets his moment in front of a crowd. And an actual moment where he doesn't get cashed in on or anything like that. I can imagine he's very happy right now backstage, and I can imagine Cody Rhodes probably pitched for Drew McIntyre to win the title tonight, because we've known him to do that before as well. So, um, overall, very good match. I enjoyed it, and a very shocking outcome, but a very good outcome. I am going to say because I feel like I've been a little bit too negative on this post show with a lot of things that happened. And that's not the case, guys. I really did enjoy this main event. I just like look at things like a little bit realistically in terms of how WWE plays into certain things. Um, but I will say, like from top to bottom, we have Trick Williams, we have Jordan Grace, we have, Drew McIntyre the new world champion. The changes and the fresh faces that we're seeing makes me excited. And I am very excited for fresh things on WWE programming. And especially when it's WWE and we get something fresh and new, it's good. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate them taking the effort to, I know they've taken a lot of NXT top stars, and NXT is in a very vulnerable position right now, but NXT is a different universe. In terms of the main roster, Javon Evans on Raw, Obafemi coming up, Jordan Grace being there, Trick Williams being there. We've got a lot of fresh things going on. Carmelo Hayes as US champion. I am excited for this new era, and I'm hoping that this can be really good. And I have hope that it will be, because I think that I don't know what happened to Triple H between December 31st and January 1st, but he seemed to have gotten a kick in the ass by somebody because he stepped it up just a little bit, just a little bit. He stepped it up recently. So I'm very excited to see what's to come for WWE.
Yeah, I'd second all of that. I think it's going to be a very, very good year for WWE in 2026. Um, we mentioned that. I think a big part of that is not having to worry about John Cena, which sounds horrendous to say. I'm so sad he's gone, but I can only imagine the having to try and work around that and book it, especially when The Rock decided to stick his bloody bald head in the middle of it, was more of a burden at times probably than it was actually a just fun part of the show that it should have been. So I'm very, very happy and excited to see what WWE do in 2026. It's off to a great start. Actually, I don't think SmackDown overall was that great tonight, but there was a lot of little things that are symbolizing of what we're going to see going forward, and that I can get excited for.
And that's what your weekly show should be used for, right? To
Yep,
like set things up that are coming to the future. So while this entire episode of SmackDown may have not been great, we saw little glimpses of them setting things up, like
yep,
Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill.
yep.
They're continuing the US Championship Open Challenge. Matt Cardona is going to be involved in something. We have he's going to be involved in the tournament actually. They announced that. So there's things to look forward to, and it seems like they are actually taking the time to book in advance to do some sort of like long-term booking. It seems like so. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate time and effort being put into things, because it makes a much of a difference when you put time and effort into things, and I think we're seeing that right now. So, overall, fine episode of SmackDown, but really good main event. If you missed this episode of
Mhm.
SmackDown, for American audience, it still hasn't gone live yet. It goes live at 8 o'clock Eastern. But I know some people in America found ways to watch it, so that's fine. But yeah, if you missed this episode of SmackDown, I would suggest just going back and watching the main event because that's what really matters on this show. Um, Yeah, we got a couple things coming up in a couple weeks. We got Saturday night's main event and all that stuff coming up before the Rumble, all that good stuff. Um, yeah, final thoughts on SmackDown, Rue?
Yeah, much of what I just said. I think obviously, yeah, maybe a little bit of a drag of a show, but it set up a lot of things going forward. You know, not every episode can be an absolute banger. Not every Dynamite's amazing, for example, either. So it set up a lot of things going forward. But yeah, totally second what you said. If you are just wanting to watch the show and haven't seen it yet, just go watch that last hour. That's all you need to see, and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah. The last hour was commercial free, but obviously if you're watching that after, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, that is going to do it for us on this post-show review. Thank you for everybody that joined in. This is the most active post-show I've had, so I appreciate everybody. I appreciate Rue coming on here. I appreciate Stu World Order, Phoebe, everybody that shows support to the Kayfabe Central podcast. I appreciate all of you guys. And for anybody watching after the fact, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you're not already. Hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell. All that good stuff. Do what you got to do. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that comes to the channel. I'm recording an interview tomorrow and on Sunday, so make sure you guys are checking the social media pages, whether that be Instagram or Twitter, for the announcements of when those interviews are dropping. Rue, where can they find you?
Yeah, if I ruin wrestling on TikTok and YouTube, as I usually do all the watch alongs for SmackDown. Unfortunately, I don't normally get to do Raw, but fortunately now with the European tour, I will be live for this upcoming Raw from Dusseldorf, Germany. I will be going live about 6:30 p.m. for the show starting at 7 p.m.
And that is going to do it for us on this Friday Night SmackDown post show review. I'm not sure yet on where I'm going to fit in the headlines of the week tomorrow if we are going to be doing that. So, just again, keep your notifications on, keep all that stuff on so you're aware of when all that stuff drops, if it drops. So yeah, I will be back at some point. And then I have the kayfabe recap on Sunday. That's also a maybe if I do that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all the stuff that is to come to the Kayfabe Central YouTube channel. And until the next one, I will see you guys there. Take it easy. Sweet.
That's good.